Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle channel, and today we're going to play I'll See You in My Dreams. I'll See You in My Dreams was a popular song written in 1924 and it rapidly became a jazz standard. It was recorded by Bob Wills among others, although his version was a fairly straightforward big band type of version. Django did it with no violin. The best fiddle version that I could find, as is often the case, was from Tim Cliphouse, and his version is well worth listening to. It's a medium tempo tune with no quavers, and that makes it very easy to play, but also potentially very, very easy to play badly. And I'm going to try and spend most of this video explaining how it can be played badly and how to avoid that. So I'm going to show you lots of different ways of improving the actual melody. So we're not going to concentrate on the solo in this lesson. So I'm just going to play it once through really badly, and you'll see what I mean. Now you might well say, well, what on earth was wrong with that? I was playing exactly what was written. And yes, I was, but that is not the point of jazz. And I was missing everything that a jazz player needs to put into it. So if you had, let's say, half a dozen jazz fiddle players lining up to play this in turn, and they each played it exactly like that, then you would fire the whole lot of them. So what's needed is a jazz style added on to what's written, which is why you should never accept a score of a jazz tune as being job done once you've learned to play that what's written down. So the idea of playing da 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 da, that is your big problem. So each note has to be treated in some kind of different way, or at least each phrase. So one of the first things I would do to this is what I think is referred to as articulation, which means giving each note a real kick at the beginning. And this often works well doing repeated up bows with a stop. That kind of thing. Let me just play the first couple of lines and I'll do that kind of articulation. So it had some real attack there, but not on all of the notes. And what is really good is to be able to alternate between those sharp kicking little notes and really smooth, elegant notes. So the second line, for example, long bows, nice and smooth. So instead of that, we're going with lots of slides. And it's a really good thing with a lot of jazz melodies to do this, to have in your mind two completely contrasting styles of playing a melody and to use them both. Not alternating line for line between one and the other, but having both available, shall we say. With a very simple melody like this, the octave jump is a really good thing. And that can either be a jump once usually in the middle of the melody where you take the whole thing up an octave, or it can be individual phrases or notes which jump up and down. So I'll go through some or perhaps all of the tune, and I'll show you some octave jumps. I did fairly recently on my Patreon page a whole lesson on octave jumps, which you might find interesting and useful. Okay, harmonics. The Grappelli type harmonics are really useful, especially in a slowish tune like this. I do have a video on different harmonic effects for the jazz violin. So these harmonics are done in third position with your second and first finger. So those are the notes that we're going to be fingering. Same position on each string. 2-1, 2-1, possibly 2-1. When you press really lightly, you get those harmonics. And you've got to be exactly in tune in order to make these harmonics ring. But it's a lot easier doing it in third position than it is with your fourth and third finger, I find. And Grappelli did this an awful lot. A lot of people would say he did it too much. I'm going to play through it again. I will do some of the things we've already done, including the short and the long notes, and I'll do some of these harmonics. You can put these on almost any chord, even when all of the notes are out of tune with it, but it's best on notes that are kind of close to G, D or C. That's the best chords to use. Splitting the notes is a really good technique. So whenever you've got, that could be, that kind of thing. So quavers can easily be split into crotchets, and crotchets can be split and little patterns that are syncopated are very nice for doing on the quavers. That's a nice one for that particular note, a pedal G, which is a favourite of Grappelli. Leaving out the first beat is a nice one. So instead of going, you might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. As with all of these, don't do them too often. As soon as you do the same trick twice in a phrase, then you've lost it. And finally, there's a thing that I call the Grappelli ornament, which I've never heard properly described, which is that. So it's kind of like a cut in Irish music, in that it starts with the melody note, plays the next note up and then down again. But it's not slurred into the note, it's played as a very short separate bows. kind of thing. So all of those are going to make this sound much smoother, much more interesting, much more jazzy, and not nearly as boring as we started off. So I'll play all the way through a couple of times, and I'll try and get all of these ideas in there. If you'd like a copy of the sheet music for this, do subscribe and send me an email. If you would like the backing track, then do join me on Patreon. And there you can get access to all of my backing tracks, to numerous PDF tune collections, including my Gypsy Jazz collection, and to all of my PDFs in one go, and that's around 400 of them. And depending on what level you join, it's either £4, £10 or £40 per month, and the £40 gets you a lesson along with all of that each month. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. I'll play you out with a version with a bit of soloing.